Well, our first guest today is artist Monte Toon. Monte, my friend, it's good to have you here.
Good to see you, Sam.
In case you folks at home aren't aware, and you missed the first show that we did together, Monte was the graphic artist for Channel 8 back in the day when it was owned, I guess, by Jimmy Lake.
Yes.
And we had a lot of well-known names come up and through the doors over there.
Right.
And you provided the artwork for things like Eight's the Place.
Any place that you saw that, Sam, I either put it there or caused it to be put there. Yes. And we put it in a lot of places.
I know you did. I had one on the bumper, rear bumper of one of my first cars.
Yeah.
And it was a well-done promotion.
Yeah, we put it on everything. American Airlines, swimsuits, volleyballs, baseballs, a muscle. We had them all.
Good thinking power. After you left Channel 8, you got into artwork on your own. I mean, you started to nurture and develop your talent, and now you're pretty well recognized and as a pretty incredible artist.
Well, I got the freedom to work in the watercolor full time, as opposed to going home with an evening after work and working on it. So you can really accomplish a lot if you have the time and you concentrate, you focus. And that's essentially what I did after I retired, was to devote almost all my time to painting with the watercolor.
We're going to talk about a show that Monte's involved in just a couple of moments. But first, we're going to take a stroll down memory lane, if you will,
All right.
of some of the work that you've done, and have you tell us a little bit about it. Emily, well, first of all, this is your, what, mobile home?
That's our Okie Dokie Roadhouse. We got that in 2006, a couple years after I retired, after Linda and I retired together, and we bought that rig, and we have had that in Alaska and Newfoundland, down to Key West. It's our home on wheels, and as you can see, I can take my paints with me, and wherever I go, I can keep working. And,
well, that's a great gift you have.
I'm up at Bartlesville here giving a demonstration to their art group. I do teach watercolor workshops and private lessons, give demonstrations. I'm really a promoter of watercolor. I think it's a media that is so versatile and so easy to work with and so portable and reasonable, and it's just great. I've loved it. 50 years.
Not everybody can do it. You do it with style.
Well, I think a lot of it, Sam, is that maybe in the beginning of watercolor, your first teachings of watercolor have not been the most desirable or productive. You put water on a piece of paper and it's going to wrinkle. And if it's got bows and all of that, it's difficult to work with. So one of my teaching things is the first thing you do is get control of the paper. So it stays flat, and it stays flat when you paint on it.
Let's take a look at some of your work here. What is this?
This is a little girl. We were up at Calgary, Alberta, Canada, at a heritage center. There was a group of young girls, probably 15 of them, out there in their little bonnets and aprons, a school class thing. They were touring that facility. This little girl I found her in the blacksmith shop, a very dirty, dusty place, and she was standing there in that bright afternoon sunlight in that pristine white dress. She'd found something that she really wanted to contemplate, and that's the name of the painting, Contemplation. That painting was submitted to the Watercolor USA at Springfield, Missouri last year in 450 pieces that were submitted. This one was one of 80 that made it in that show, and that's against the big people of watercolor.
You know, Monte, as I look at your work, I have told you this before. Sometimes it talks to me and gives me a sense of longing. I get a lot of that from your work.
Yes.
And it's an untapped emotion. This is a prime example. Where are the people? What's missing here? And all of a sudden you begin to realize you're not there.
Right. One thing these images say to me is that that house was new at one time. It was built and someone lived in that house the first day it was built. And what happened to them? Who lived there? What did they do? Where did they go? Why did they go?
There had to have been laughter and tears in that house. There
Yeah.
had to be.
Yeah, yeah. That's a barn down on southern Missouri. I do a lot of barns, rural scenes. They, like you said, they have this feeling of longing about them. The hay rake is over in Missouri.
So you brought two areas together.
Yes.
Where is this?
In my mind,
Really?
yes.
And you call it?
It's Fence Row, that's the name of it, and it's one of many, many paintings that I just make up out of my mind. And that's gathering images from your memory.
Such a gift you've got. Such a gift. Now this one,
Oh, that's at
this one
Peggy's,
struck a chord because I like to fish.
that's at Peggy's Cove in Nova Scotia, one of the most beautiful little inlets on the coast of Nova Scotia. You can point a camera in any direction right there and get a perfect picture.
You didn't happen to bring my favorite with you, the little red wagon in it, did you?
No, I sold that one. Prints are available for the sale.
I'll be getting one of those. I do like that a lot.
Yeah.
Where is this?
Oh, this is another one out of my mind, really.
Influenced
It's
by what?
This is a little different approach. This is on a paper called Yupo, Y-U-P-O. It's a very slick paper made out of plastic, recycled, and the paint doesn't really want to stay on it. It slides around. It's interesting to work with, and it's something that I'm kind of experimenting with. Yupo
Is it
paper.
recent?
Yeah, it's very recent. I just started working with those about 2 months ago with that paper. Yeah.
Oh, I like this.
That's the St. Lawrence waterway going down to Quebec in the background up in Canada. The dog, I think, is probably from one of my pictures of dogs many years ago. The man is from Nova Scotia, from another place. And like I said, with the barn and the hay rake, sometimes I just put elements together to create a new
Yeah.
painting. Oh, that's up at Acadia National Park in Maine. Maine is one of our favorite states. Have you been there?
I have not, but I hear the lobster's great.
Oh, yeah. You can go to McDonald's and get a lobster sandwich.
Get out of here. Can you really?
Yes, you can.
I'll be in
Yeah.
Maine next week.
Yeah. All of these, Sam, are down at my show. Watercolor's the first 50 years. I started in 1969, so next year it's celebrating 50 years. And
Well, let's talk about where is the show located?
it's at the Hive in Jinx. Jinx downtown area, all the little retail shops and antique shops and all of that. It's just a block south of that, on the west end of that town, the Hive. And the show, we installed it the 1st of March. It'll be there until the 1st of April, all through March. It's open 1 to 5, Monday through Friday
At the Hive.
at the Hive. Now, they've told me that if somebody wanted to see it in the morning, that might be okay too. So, but 1 to 5, Monday through Friday is a normal time.
How are we on time? Got a couple of questions I want to throw at my friend. We got okay, that's enough time to get this in. Certainly you've had people come to you and say, hey, I love what you do, can I do it? And you have no way of knowing. But you I'm sure, take the time, because you're that kind of guy, to take the time to teach someone how to get started. Do you see much of that sort of action? Do people come to you for advice?
Well, if the numbers of people that have attended my workshops and private lessons that I've given, yes, I've had a good following of people that wanting to know more about watercolor. And believe me, I wish I could get watercolor more involved in our communities, in our schools, in our educational systems. Sam, it was after I got my degree to be an art teacher, and was actually an art teacher, that I was introduced to watercolor to a degree that I could do something with it.
And it just blew you away, didn't it?
Yes, and it was because I had not had teachers that knew how to teach watercolor in the earlier years.
Monty, we're out of time, and
I
I'm
know.
so sorry. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll do this again.
Okay.
And good luck on the show.
Thank
all right?
you.
Break
Come
a
down and see
real leg down there. Okay, my friend.
Thanks.
Well, if you don't know about oak pop, you should, because it's headed our way. We're going to talk about it right after this.